All right, get ready, because on this deep dive, we are heading straight back to ancient Egypt, or to Kemet, as they call it, Kemet, yeah. But they call it way back when. We're going to be talking about dreadlocks today. Yes, and you're going to find out why dreadlocks were so much more, than just a hairstyle. Way more than just hair, way more than just hair. We are going deep with this one. That was like looking at all the symbolism and the spirituality that was kind of woven into every single strand. Wow. And we're going to be guided by this really fascinating analysis by this emerging Kemetic culture researcher named Sharri Plaza. I am so ready. Yeah, let's do it. Let's dive in. Okay, so picture this. Okay, you're walking through a museum. You're surrounded by all these ancient Egyptian statues, carvings, all that intricate stuff. Beautiful, yes. And you see them, and they're rocking these dreadlocks. Yeah, it's not just some random detail. Yeah, a statement. It's totally a statement. And Plaza's research points to the fact that ancient Egyptians thought a natural, unaltered state was something sacred. Interesting. So think about it. What is more natural than hair that's just allowed to do its thing until lock and grow free and unmanipulated? The ultimate symbol of just like letting go and being one with nature. Being one with nature. Yes. And it wasn't just like everyday people embracing this. Right. We're talking pharaohs, the divine rulers. Yes, divine rulers. Priests, spiritual intermediaries. Exactly. They were all sporting dreadlocks. Yes, or even wigs styled as dreadlocks. To connect to this higher power, yes, it's like they believed that those locks could almost amplify their spiritual energy. I think it really channeled that divine power. If they represented, it's like a conduit. Yeah, it's like plugging in. Exactly. So when we're talking about divine power here, we can't forget about the gods and goddesses themselves. Of course not. We've got to talk about Osiris, the god of the afterlife. Yes. He's often depicted with dreadlocks, and it's this direct link to his domain. Yes, the earth, the cycle of life, death, and resurrection. And there's this very powerful myth about Osiris, about how he was murdered by his own brother, really, and then brought back to life by his wife Isis, his own brother. That's brutal. Family drama much. Oh my God, talk about family drama. Right. But here's where it gets interesting. Okay. That myth is not just a captivating story. Okay. It really kind of reinforces what those dreadlocks represent. That enduring spirit. Okay. That idea that life persists even when faced with death. Wow. Much like vegetation that seems to die off but is reborn from the earth. Interesting. So it's almost like those dreadlocks become this visual representation of that cycle, constantly growing, evolving, connected to something so much bigger, connected to this larger cycle. Yeah, it's giving like ancient wisdom. It is. It's giving interconnectedness. Yes, I love it. They embody that continuity, that unbreakable thread that runs through life and death. Wow, it's powerful imagery, right? It's powerful when you think about Osiris and those eternally growing locks. And yes, it really makes you think about how these ancient Egyptians view the afterlife in this whole different way, in a much different way than a lot of other cultures. Yeah, but Osiris isn't the only one rocking this look, right? Oh, absolutely not. No, there's got to be other gods and goddesses, right? Because, we also see depictions of Hathor, the goddess of love, beauty, music. Oh, now we're talking, and motherhood with dreadlocks. Hathor, the goddess of love, beauty, and music. She sounds like my kind of goddess. She's pretty cool. Yeah, but her dreadlocks represent way more than just, a festive spirit or something like that. Okay. With Hathor, they're very much intertwined with this idea of nurturing, fertility, and the abundance of the earth. She's often associated with these images of nourishment and growth, right? Much like the earth itself. So I'm seeing some connections here. Okay, so Osiris's dreadlocks represent that cycle of life and death. Yes, right? Could we say that Hathor's dreadlocks represent that creative force that kind of fuels that cycle? Ooh, that's good. Like how she's also associated with music, yes, and dance, those expressions of creation. That's a really interesting connection. Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense when you consider what Plaza talks about regarding Hathor's temples. What about them? These were lively places, full of music, dance, just giving party, celebration, right? It wasn't about being quiet and reverent. It was about experiencing that joy and beauty of creation. Wow. In every single form. I love that. It's amazing to me how these visual cues can hold so much meaning, right? It's like I'm seeing hairstyles in a whole new way. Exactly. And when we think about those museum statues again, right, and those carvings, those dreadlocks, they take on an even deeper meaning because it wasn't just about like a personal style choice.
Right.
This reflected a society that was deeply in tune with the natural world and the divine forces that they believed shaped it. Makes sense, yeah. So we've got gods and goddesses with dreadlocks. We get pharaohs, yes, priests embracing the style. Exactly. It's kind of a big deal, right? It is a huge deal. And it also kind of brings up this very interesting question about those visual cues we keep talking about. What if someone's dreadlocks could actually tell us something about their social standing, like it was a status symbol? Exactly. While the sources don't like directly say that dreadlocks were a marker of a specific social class or anything like that,
Right.
their prevalence among those in positions of power,
Okay.
Both spiritual and political, suggest that there was a certain level of reverence associated with them. If that makes sense. Yeah, because even today we have hairstyles and clothes, they carry these certain connotations with them. Well, absolutely right. Like we say so much without even saying anything at all. It's true. We're always sending these messages with our clothes, our hair, our style. We're hardwired to look for those cues, those subtle signs that tell us where we fit in. It's fascinating. It really is. It makes you wonder, what are future archaeologists going to think when they look back on our choices from today? Oh my God, centuries from now, what will our hairstyles say about it? That is a question I want the answer to. Right. Oh man, but you're so right though. In a lot of ways, those ancient Egyptians, they weren't that different from us.
Totally.
They were using clothes, hairstyles, language, all of it, to express their beliefs and who they were. It's like a human thing. It's a human thing. And I think one of the things I love about dreadlocks in this context is that in a way they transcended those individual expressions.
Okay, how so?
Well, they became this thread connecting everyday people to their gods, to their leaders, to this whole belief system about the natural world. So it's like those dreadlocks weren't just a style, it was this whole statement. Yes, exactly. And what I find so compelling about Plaza's work, is that it doesn't just stop with ancient Egypt.
Okay, where does it go?
She wants us to think about how these beliefs about dreadlocks could still be impacting us today. I see what you mean. Are we just kind of projecting our modern interpretations onto the past, right? Or is there something deeper there, like some echo of those ancient beliefs that still influences how we see dreadlocks today? That is the question, isn't it? Right. And it's not one I think anyone can answer for you.
Right. It's personal.
It's very personal. Yeah, so we each have to kind of grapple with that for ourselves. Exactly. And I think Plaza's analysis gives us this amazing new lens to view not only ancient Egyptian culture, but also how we understand identity and spirituality and even fashion today. She's really giving us a lot to think about. And I think that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. It really is. For anyone listening who is now completely intrigued and wants to go on their own visual journey through this ancient tradition, do yourself a favor. Go look up some images of Osiris. Hathor. Please do see those dreadlocks. See those deliberate choices. It's amazing, represented in stone. It just adds this whole other dimension to their stories. It really does. It makes you realize that even hairstyles can be these powerful symbols full of meaning and often carrying echoes of the past. Into the present. A lot of it. Well, this has been an amazing journey. It has. I feel like my mind is blown wide open. Mine too. Are you ready for our next deep dive? Always. We are shifting gears, from ancient Egypt to the cutting edge of AI. Oh, exciting. That's all I'm going to say. But let's just say the future, closer than you think. Until then, keep exploring.